Ryan Preece finally got that first victory, and I was pumped for him driving that number 60 Coca-Cola Ford for RFK Racing. He's a racer's racer. He has a lot of passion for the sport. He's one of the few racers, I'd say, over the last number of years that's gotten to where he's at because of pure skill. I think that's a rarity at this point. Like, you need some sort of major sponsorship help. And Ryan Priest has never really had any big time personal sponsors or anything. And it seemed like a couple of years ago, once he was going to be out at Haas, I personally thought he was done, and I didn't have anything against it. I was like, he hasn't really performed. He's probably a good enough driver to be in the Cup Series, but there's a lot of drivers that are good enough to be in the Cup Series that aren't in the Cup Series. And I thought Ryan Preece was just going to be another one of those guys potentially. And then Brad Kay took a big shot on him, and he raced his ass off last year. Him and Busher, I'd say, were the best drivers at RFK last season. And he comes into this season with the bang, winning the Clash. One of three drivers to get their first career win in an exhibition race, that being Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, and now Ryan Preece. I just love the guy. He has a pure passion for the sport, a modified racer from New England. I think he's from Connecticut. Just really impressed by the guy and the passion that he showed in that interview and the heart that he showed in that interview. That's how you garner a lot of fans. I think there was definitely some people that had a problem with him saying fuck and cussing. I don't give a shit. He showed his passion. He put his heart on his sleeve, and I loved it. In a real personal, emotional moment. Look like he was about to break. He kind of had like a small breakdown in front of the camera. He just couldn't believe it. He had no, like, he just didn't understand it at that moment. I felt like, and it was just a real awesome moment. And I'm extremely happy for Ryan Preece. Cory, how did you feel about this? I'm sure you probably saw his interview once he got out of the car and everything. How did you feel about the Ryan Preece victory and his interview and celebration?
Um, as a fan, I don't feel any way about Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
Him winning going into it, right? And watching that race and seeing someone different up front, seeing someone who hasn't won a race up front, seeing those final laps and actually the announcers getting excited for him was awesome. Like, it was good to see. And then the emotion he showed and how much that race meant to him, even though it was an exhibition, it wasn't like it doesn't statistically count towards like a win in his career other than it being the Clash, right? And it still meant the world to him in that moment. And then for me, the him winning didn't mean much at the time, but then like honestly thinking about it for a day, like that race wasn't for points. That race to some people was for the Biff. Like
Yeah,
seeing that 60
for sure.
back in victory lane after what happened this offseason, it's emotional, especially being with Roush. You know what I mean? It That win affected NASCAR on a lot of different levels, even though it was just the Clash and Priest getting his first victory. It was good to see that 60 in victory lane. And it a day later, I'm ecstatic and so happy for Ryan Priest and RFK and Roush. And, you know, it was just a good win. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's another little caveat to it as well. Because I remember when he was in his interview, and I look over his shoulder, and you can just see the little Greg Biffle sticker right above his window. And it was all, the whole weekend was for the Biff. Really, they had the big logo in the middle, not in the middle, but it was on the field at Bowman Gray Stadium with all the other logos that were there. Just very cool to see the number 60 back in victory lane. Greg Biffle, I would say, was the primary guy that made that number famous for Roush in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series at that time, known as the Busch series. Of course, Carl Edwards and a number of other guys drove that number 60, but Greg Biffle was able to win a championship in that number 60, and to see him being Ryan Preece in victory lane, celebrating like that, and it also being a moment for, probably a big moment for the Biffle fans. If the Biffle fans were tuning into that, it's probably a big moment for them as well. Tyler, how did you feel about the whole celebration and win for Ryan Preece?
Awesome to see, man. You haven't seen a driver get out of their car and have that much emotion in a long time. True, raw emotion. That man needed that win to solidify putting his house up on a lien, to solidify giving up his whole life to still be doing this. Like, that man's been given a lot, and that's what NASCAR is about. Expedition race or not, it does not matter. He won, and that's what matters. And
Yeah,
he's gonna have a cup win on it. Like, that's he got that car into victory lane against Kyle Larson, against Denny Hamlin, against everybody else. They were all out there. They were all in their cars. They were all on that same field. So it made no difference. Made no difference. A win is a win to him, and that's life changing, man. That's the confidence that man's gonna need to actually be up there with them and not second guess his moves or second guess what he's trying to do or whatever it is. I think he deserved it more than anything. I think it brings a lot more fans into the.
looks like we might have lost Tyler there for a second. But yeah, it brings a lot more fans into it. And I think Ryan Preece is he's a driver that a lot of people can get behind. I feel like he just has a pure passion for the sport. And I'm hoping that more people realize how good of a driver he is. And I have some bold predictions laid out later. And one of my bold predictions involves Ryan Preece. And I don't know if it is a bold prediction anymore because I think people are now realizing that he is a very talented race car driver and he had a very strong year last year. And I think he's going to have even a better year this year, Ryan Preece. And just got to be happy for Ryan Preece, a racer's racer, has a pure passion for the sport. We saw that on display with the interview. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. How did you feel about the Ryan Preece victory, his celebration, and everything involving his win at Bowman Gray Stadium?